I still remember the exact moment I realized something was wrong, not because anyone yelled or slammed a door, but because my daughter stopped talking. Lily was 7. Back then, the kind of kid who narrated her entire life out loud what she was thinking, what she was dreaming about, what she wanted for dinner 3 days from now. Then, one afternoon, she came home from school, dropped her backpack by the door, and went straight to her room without a word. No stories, no jokes, no questions. Just silence. And yeah, silence can be louder than screaming. At first I told myself I was overthinking it. Kids have moods, right? Bad days happen. But later that night when I was checking her homework, I saw it. A worksheet covered in red ink. Not corrections, not guidance. Judgment. Across the top, written in sharp, deliberate letters, was a sentence that made my stomach drop. This level of work is exactly what I expected. No name, no explanation, just that. And something about it felt personal, like it wasn't about the math at all. When I asked Lily about it, she shrugged. That shrug kids do when they're trying to protect themselves. "It's fine," she said. "Fine again." That word followed by a fake smile that didn't reach her eyes. I pushed, gently told her she could talk to me. She hesitated, then whispered, "Maybe I'm just not good at school." That was the hook. That was the moment I knew this wasn't just about a teacher having a bad day. Someone had planted a seed of doubt in my kid's head, and it was already growing. Here's the thing about Lily. She wasn't lazy. She wasn't careless. She tried harder than most adults I know. But her teacher, Ms. Carter, never seemed to see that. Every interaction felt cold, clipped, dismissive. During parent pickup, I'd smile, say hello. Ms. Carter barely nodded. When Lily raised her hand in class, she'd get passed over. When other kids made mistakes, they got encouragement. When Lily did, she got silence, or that look, the one that says, "I expected this from you." I tried to give the benefit of the doubt. I really did. I told myself not every teacher clicks with every student. But week after week, Lily came home a little smaller. Her grades slipped. Her confidence evaporated. One night, she asked me if she was the dumb kid in class. That question broke something inside me. The turning point came during a parent-teacher conference. I walked in calm, polite, ready for a conversation. Ms. Carter sat across from me, hands folded, smile tight. I asked how Lily was doing. She sighed like the question itself was exhausting. "Some children," she said, "just don't have the same academic potential. It's important to be realistic." Realistic. About a 7-year-old. I asked what she meant. She tilted her head and said, "You know what I mean." Oh, I knew exactly what she meant. And that's when the second act began. I leaned forward and asked for examples, specifics, data, work samples. She hesitated, shuffled papers, pointed to assignments Lily had actually done well on, twisting them into proof of failure. That's when I realized this wasn't ignorance. This was bias. Quiet, polished, dangerous bias. The kind that hides behind professionalism and destroys kids without ever raising its voice. I didn't explode. I didn't yell. I thanked her for her time and walked out. But inside, something was burning. I went home and did what any parent who refuses to be dismissed does. I documented everything. Emails, papers, patterns. I talked to other parents. Slowly, stories started to sound familiar. Different kids, same tone. Same lowered expectations. Same damage. When I requested a meeting with the principal, I came prepared. Not angry, prepared. I laid everything out calmly, one piece at a time. The principal listened, nodded, asked questions. And then he said the words, "I'll never forget. You're not the first parent to raise concerns." That was both comforting and infuriating. How many kids had already been hurt before someone took this seriously? The investigation took weeks. Lily didn't know most of it was happening. All she knew was that school felt heavy. I focused on rebuilding her at home, reminding her who she was before someone tried to define her. Slowly, she started to believe me again. Then came the call. Miss Carter was being removed from the classroom pending review. Not reassigned. Removed. I didn't celebrate. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt relieved and sad. Sad that it took this much effort to protect a child from someone who should have been doing the opposite. The real victory came later, and it surprised me. Lily got a new teacher, Ms. Alvarez. Warm voice, patient eyes, the kind of teacher who kneels to talk to kids instead of looking down at them. Within days, Lily started raising her hand again. Within weeks, she started laughing about school. One night, she told me she wanted to be a teacher someday. That's when I knew we'd won something bigger than a complaint or an investigation. But here's the part that still haunts me. One evening, Lily asked if other kids felt like she did before. Kids who thought they weren't smart because someone with authority told them directly or indirectly that they weren't. She asked if they had someone to stand up for them. I didn't have a good answer. So I'll ask you instead. How many kids are quietly shrinking right now because of labels they never earned? How many adults still carry voices from their childhood that told them they weren't enough? And how often do we excuse harm because it's delivered politely? This story doesn't end with fireworks or a perfect system suddenly fixed. Bias doesn't disappear because one person gets held accountable. But sometimes one voice is enough to interrupt the pattern. Sometimes speaking up doesn't just change one child's story, it forces a room full of adults to finally listen. If you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or made to feel small by someone who was supposed to guide you, I want to hear from you. Do you think what happened was justice or overreaction? Where do we draw the line between critique and cruelty? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Challenge this story, share your own. Because silence is exactly what lets this keep happening, and honestly, I think we've had enough of that.